When I was a kid, I had seen a lot of movies where people could appear and disappear at will. One day, I started praying to God to make me invisible. After I finished my prayer, I went to meet the rest of the family. When I joined them, I heard them saying they have not seen me. I was shocked because I was with them. I moved to their faces, but they couldn't notice. Then I remembered I made a prayer to God. I became happy for answering my prayers. When it was time to have dinner, my mother started shouting and crying she hadn't seen me. She served others dinner but didn't serve me. I was hungry that night. After dinner, she asked my other siblings to go to sleep. In the morning, I must explain my whereabouts. I went to her face and every other person's face again, but they didn't notice me. I went to bed hungry and crying. I asked God to make me visible again. That night, my mother came to my room again, asking where I could have gone that night. She was telling my father that if they don't see me in the morning, they will report me missing to the police. The next morning, I was the first to come out of my room and ran to my parents' room. This time, they started shouting at me for not being at home. I tried to tell them my experience, but they didn't believe me. They warned me strictly never to leave home again. Since then, I strongly believed in God and became so sure God answers prayers. Growing up, I kept giving reference to that event to others when they were low in faith. I believed God who answered that prayer could answer more than that. Recently, my family had a challenge. The new government had announced their plan of nationalizing the education sector of the state. My parents run a private secondary and university schools with 3 different branches. The government had given the private school owners few months to close down their schools due to unaffordable tuition fees of private schools in the state. The chairman and the board members of the private school association had tried dialogues with the government, but it didn't work. My parents were bothered. They couldn't afford to close down their schools. In one of the days, I was encouraging them to keep praying to God. Surely, God can do something in their favor. I made reference again to the day I became invisible. My father laughed and asked if I was still stupid and ignorant at my age. He told me he planned it with my mother and siblings after overhearing my stupid prayer request while passing. I got ashamed. At a split, my spirit went cold. I looked at my father and told him, even though you planned it, God used you to answer my prayer. Then I found strength again. We prayed as we could and I believed God. A month later, the supposed month of implementation, in one of the days, the spokesman announced the government decision after the last meeting with the chairman and board members of the Private Schools Association to let the private schools still be, but would have the tuition fees reduced by 30%. It was later revealed and verified that the head of state and one of the board members of the Private School Association had an informal meeting, being they used to reside in same street then, prior to the last general meeting with the chairman and other board members of the Private School Association. This is Chisom Obianuju speaking now. Do you think God answered those prayers, or logically it happened by the decisions of people in position in power? Comment your thoughts on the comment section. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe for more videos.